Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. This is Russell Santos, the Realtor, on another segment of Long Island Locals, Episode 2. I'm here with my guest Avital with Thrive with Avital. How are you doing, Avital?
Hey Russell, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
My pleasure. So what stuck out to me with Avital is her positive mindset through life. I love how she acknowledges how no matter what we go through, whether it's good or bad, we could just take time to ourselves and really not beat ourselves up in the long run. And also her business with autoimmune health is something that's very unique, and that's something I'm really interested to pick her brain about today. So Avital, so I guess tell me, how did you get involved with this whole business? How did this whole start?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was diagnosed with Crohn's and autoimmune disorder when I was 13, and after struggling with it for many, many years, about 4 years ago, I decided I had enough. I was tired of being sick and tired all the time, and I started my own holistic healing journey, getting away from the Western medicine and looking at things in a holistic manner when it comes to my healing. And so I've been on my own journey for the past couple of years. And then last year when COVID hit, a lot of things shifted for me. And one thing led to another, but I stumbled upon the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And when I did a little bit of research, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is my purpose, my passion. I want to be an integrative nutrition health coach and help other people like me that have autoimmune disorders really take back control of their health and be able to manage their symptoms through nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset.
So I love how I feel like the pandemic just transforms everyone, and it kind of challenged them to become something better, and it just makes that whole transition into a positive one. Now, tell me more about integrated nutrition. Now, is that how did you get introduced to that again?
Yeah, so I think I was probably just doing some research online about just holistic health, as I usually am. And then it started popping up, like the advertisements for the school. They started popping up in my Instagram, my Facebook, and all over. I was like, what is this? So I did a little digging, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like a school that teaches you all about holistic health. This is something that I've been learning on my own for the past couple of years, and I didn't realize that there's a school for it. And so really one of the main reasons I decided to enroll is just to be able to go on my own deeper healing journey. I've been doing it on my own for the past 3-4 years. And so the school was more of like a really good guide for me to just absorb everything when it comes to holistic health. So we look at, not just the food on your plate, but everything off your plate too. So we look at areas like your relationships, your movement, spirituality, joy, many areas of your life that contribute to your health and happiness. So it's an amazing experience, and it led me to figure out what my real purpose in life is, which is to serve others and helping them on their own journey.
Avital, you are speaking, this is music to my ears, because I feel like I am also in this whole spiritual journey myself. I know it's kind of weird when, or I hate to say that word weird, but I guess it's kind of unique when a business person, a real estate business person like myself is going through health and mindset. That's actually what I try to focus on in my separate YouTube channel. I'm looking into more holistic health and more health and wellness mindset, positivity, and taking action and not focusing on the results. And I think it's really appropriate to interview you about your whole background. Given your whole background with integrated nutrition, how did you, what was your biggest challenge, making this leap?
My biggest challenge, I think just really digging deep into my own inner world, it's going on that spiritual journey of healing like inner child wounds, healing any trauma, right? And that's really what I've been working on for the past year myself, is healing all that trauma, all the childhood wounds that I've held on that really doesn't allow you to really heal. It doesn't allow, like, that, those things hold you back from really stepping into the fullest version of yourself. And so that's what I've been working on, and it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been good, and I'm almost a year into it, and I feel amazing. Like, I was just thinking the other day how a year ago I was such a complete different person just from a year ago, and it feels really good to be where I'm at right now.
It sounds like it's very liberating, and you feel like you could breathe again.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's just a whole ongoing transition. Everyone who I talk to, I guess when I catch up, now that, you know, restaurants are opening up, like, life is starting to come back in a sense, and a lot of good things. I know there's like a lot of negativity, but it's things that you promote. You promote things that no matter what happens to you, it's okay. You can take care of yourself. Give yourself a day to recover, and then and that's just a perfect reminder, like, within yourself. You know, if you haven't already, please, like, follow Avital. With her at name is Thrive with Avital. I'll link it down below. And what I also like about this, it sounds like so I actually have, and I want to transition to this. I was supposed to be interviewing a therapist who works in anger management specifically, and it sounds like you guys are therapists in a sense. Is that correct?
Yes and no. So, you know, we don't want to call ourselves therapists just because they didn't get that type of education. Yes. But in a sense, yes, I'm here to support my clients. I am here to listen and hear them and see them and, you know, guide them on doing that inner work themselves. You know, asking all the right questions just so that they can dig deep and find their answers. And I think everyone knows the answers to, you know, what they really want to find out. It's just having the right person to guide them on that.
And I think that's very important when you have someone in a professional aspect to really talk to. And I do apologize. I don't mean to simplify things and, like, saying how you are just like therapy, which is totally different. But I love the fact that you guys are listeners, because that's something that not a lot of people feel they are affirmed of. Kind of a fun transition. I know that you've also read the 5 Love Languages, correct?
Yep, that's such an amazing book.
Yes.
Love it.
And that is, it just speaks volumes to me of how the author, I think his name's Gary Oldman, I'm sorry.
Chapman?
Gary Chapman, correct.
Yep.
The author, Gary Chapman, he is a marriage counselor, I believe, and he talks about that whole aspect of, you know, giving yourself to the other individual and not speaking in your language, but speaking in their language and listening and really being present. One of the 5 love languages is quality time. That is my wife's primary love language. But as we evolved, we decided that we kind of shift our love languages based on different, like, I guess, different periods of the year, because it doesn't, like, as you grow, it's like you go to a next level. It's like you played an RPG before, your character levels up, and then you create more challenges, and it's that whole character building, and you get to be a part of that journey for your clients, and that's what I love. So
yeah, that's amazing.
So Integrated Nutrition, in that background, is it only focused on autoimmune health?
No, it's all health, but I decided to, you know, specialize in autoimmune just because of my own personal experience and background. But integrative nutrition, you know, when you study that and you become a coach in that, there's so many different avenues that you can work in. You know, I know some people that are working in the corporate world where they go on site and they host like not webinars, but they host workshops. Yeah, there we go. Workshops on teaching stress management. I know some coaches that work with schools. They work in the education systems in like elementary, middle, high school, just to teach them nutrition as well as, how to create a healthy and happy life. And there's so many different avenues as far as what specialty you want to have.
Forgive me, I'm a little dumbfounded because I feel like I'm surprised I haven't heard about this before. So, like, how long has integrated integrated nutrition been around?
So, the concept of integrative nutrition is, again, it's both the food on your plate as well as the food off your plate, right? It's things that nourish us physically, emotionally, spiritually, and that concept has been around for thousands and thousands of years, right? But as far as the education behind it, I believe IIN has been around for about 20 or 30 years now, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition.
And it all started with, which I find funny, I feel like that's this like successful marketing in my opinion, where I guess Google hears your voice and you mention it and all of a sudden it pops up everywhere so naturally. So, and it's like a happy accident, but they did their job in that sense. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I guess you also focus more like fitness health, because I don't know if you guys follow my journey. I love working out. Food has been in the backseat, unfortunately, and maybe that's something you could help me with to, I guess, realign my nutrition in a sense. But is there personal trainers that you work with? I mean, that works in this field too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I do know some people that also are personal trainers, and they get a background in integrative nutrition just to supplement their personal training career.
So it's basically an added skill. So someone, I guess, for example, you said you have people that work in the corporate world. So if that's something that I wanted to, I guess, venture off to, it's basically educating people and helping them throughout their lives. So I guess the main focus is just like what you said. It's what the nutrition that goes on your plate and off your plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you focus, the mental health too.
Yeah, so it's just holistic wellness, right? Holistic health and wellness.
Yes. Okay. Now, is this something that you do that you work with the company, or are you independent?
Independent. So I have, as you know, started my own business, Thrive with Avital. So it's just me, and for now, that's my plan, is just to, just myself for now.
And your main focus is autoimmune health. I guess that's your main clientele. Yeah.
So actually, it's busy professionals that have autoimmune disorders, because I myself am also a busy professional with an autoimmune disorder.
Tell me more about autoimmune health, I guess.
Just kind of give you a little background of what autoimmune is, right? We can start there. So autoimmune is, your body has your innate immune system, and its typical response whenever any foreign objects like a virus or bacteria enters the body, its role is to protect the body against those foreign objects, right? And so one of the ways that it protects the body is by creating an inflammatory response. So let's say you have the cold or flu, and so your immune system is going to trigger that inflammatory response and inflame like your tonsils and your nose, ears, to protect that tissue around it, because that's how the body works, right?
Yes.
But when it comes to autoimmune, the body, the immune system doesn't know to shut that immune response off. So it's just on all the time. And so a couple different things that cause autoimmune in people. One, it's a predisposition. You have a genetic predisposition to having this disorder. And then two, it's multiple different things. It's diet, it's stress, it's trauma, it's environment, it's lifestyle. So there's multiple different things, or all the things that could be triggering your autoimmune response. And so most scenarios in the typical Western medicine world, autoimmune is treated with medications such as biologics, and what those biologics do is they suppress the immune system, but it doesn't really get to the root cause of the issue. So it technically just puts a band-aid solution and doesn't really, it just treats the symptoms instead of the root cause, right?
Yes.
And so that's kind of why we want to focus on integrative nutrition. Is not necessarily to not saying that Western medicine is bad. I mean, Western medicine is great for many things, but it's not great when it comes to treating chronic illness, right? Because again, it's putting that band-aid on instead of really getting to the root cause. So that's where integrative nutrition comes in, holistic health, and we look at all parts of the human mind, body, and soul to really get to the root cause and really find healing.
This is actually a lot of valuable information that you're spewing, and the fact is that I dabbled a little bit in the, I guess, I start off with building up like a strong immune system, and for some reason I guess it didn't translate well. Like I thought it was something totally different with autoimmune and building your immunity, and yes, that's how I also got into meditation. I did things like cold showers. I got into recently float therapy and salt cave therapy, which I think you would absolutely love. Have you heard about salt cave therapy or a float bath?
No, it sounds interesting. Tell me about it.
I feel like I'm being interviewed now. So recently, my wife and I, we went for our second anniversary. We went back to a place called Floatopia. It's a float spa and salt cave therapy, and it's Himalayan salts. I'm not an expert, but you know about salt lamps, right? Mm-hmm. So it's basically that concept. It's like you're in an enclosed room. Everything around you is just like the walls, the ceiling, the ground is like it's granulated salt. Like it's very coarse, and it's all very it's like the whole area, the aroma. It's indescribable. And I understand that you've got into meditation. This was possibly like the best meditative experience I've ever experienced, really, in a nutshell. But
that sounds awesome.
Yes, and they have a lot of health benefits. They actually, before you get into the meditation and you get to relax, they give you a little background. It's like an intro. There's a little voice audio with nature in the background, and and they dim the lights, and it really just gets you in that mindset of and like you're in, like, I guess, the Himalayan mountains. That's like, because it has that awesome effect, and it's really cool. I encourage you, especially someone in your field. Holistic health has also recently been a part of my family's life. My son, we had a bad experience with vaccinations when, considering he's almost 2. The whole, I guess, Western medicine, the school of thought is your doctor, pediatrician, they tell you need vaccinations for this, that, and the other thing. My wife deals with all that. She is a licensed RN, so she understands that whole background. But she, like you, has done her research in holistic medicine. So she invests in these aromatherapies, these liquid bottle things that you put in your mouth. I'm sorry, I forget what you call it, but it's natural stuff that gets to the source. So it's a lot of things that actually, I think it's called Thrive. That's the company. Have you heard of that? Yeah. So it's that whole aspect, and everything that you're talking about. I think it's good that you get to promote that whole aspect, but at the same time, not ditching Western medicine. It's respecting it, but letting it kind of have a new mindset. So I guess with your clients or clients like that you're working with, do you feel that it's a challenge for them to, I guess, transition them from old school thought to new school?
So the clients that I work with, the ones that come see me, they have already started their healing journey and they just need some guidance and support. You know, they already believe that, you know, healing is possible. They want to heal. They've already done some research, have some background in alternative medicine, holistic healing. So it's not a matter of me trying to sway them and help them understand, you know, the differences. They've already, you know, have some background and want this.
I guess from my background, it was kind of like, at first, it's just, for example, meditation. A lot of people who I talk to, I try to convince, it's just like they said, yeah, that's great, but then they just take it with a grain of salt. But something like that, I feel it's baby steps for one thing, and I mean, absolutely, it's not for everyone. I don't know if you do cold showers or even know that also can build up your immunity, but that was a challenge myself. Your website is up, right? I guess tell me about that. How are you feeling? Are you I feel like you're out in the open. This is like your interview. How are you feeling right now?
Good. Yesterday when I launched the website, it was such an amazing feeling. You know, I've been working really, really hard for the past couple months to create something that really speaks to the essence of who I am and how I serve my clients. And I just really sat in a lot of gratitude and just felt a lot of like love and happiness, and it just felt really, really good to finally get my website out there and make it official, because that's a big step, right? Creating the website. So it feels really, really good, and I had a lot of support, friends, family. I even have my own coach. They say like every therapist should have a therapist, every coach should have a coach as well. So I even have my own coach that has been helping me along this journey. And it's just been an amazing experience, and it feels really, really good.
So, did you do the website yourself?
Yes. So I did create it. I used Squarespace.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it has templates in it, and you just change the colors, the font, play around with it. So it was very user friendly. And then as far as the content, majority of the content I wrote, and then I had my coach just kind of edit it a bit, grammar, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So tell me, so you're working with a coach. So she also works in the same field as you, correct?
Yeah, she actually was an autoimmune coach herself, and now she's a business coach.
So basically someone who keeps you accountable, correct?
Exactly, and just kind of guides me and supports me in my own personal and business goals.
Like a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
How did you meet your coach?
Instagram.
Instagram.
We met on Instagram. Everyone's meeting on Instagram.
We met through Instagram.
I just started following a couple different coaches that are also autoimmune coaches, just so I can learn from them. And I stumbled upon her page, and she was transitioning from being an autoimmune coach to a business coach, and she really stood out to me because, for one, she's been in that field, right? She actually made a really good point to me the other day that our clients are just past versions of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so basically I feel like, I'm that client that's a past version of herself. She was an autoimmune coach just a year or two ago, and now she's transitioned to business. And just a lot of the things that she speaks about on her page really resonated with me. So it was a really good fit.
Oh my, yeah, that was really powerful what you said. It's just our past coach is a version of ourselves, and what you're doing is you're paying it forward. And I love that concept, and that's just the greatest gift you could give to somebody.
Absolutely.
So I recall that you put out, and I like how in your page you put out helpful challenges to I guess your followers, and there was like a meditation challenge. being in meditation, how long have you been meditating?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I did the challenge for 30 days and it was good, but then I realized it's not that's not the type of meditation that I want to do on a daily basis, because there's other types of meditation.
Yes.
Or in other words, there's other ways to be mindful, other mindful activities. So my morning routine has switched up as well. So now, instead of meditating, I actually start my day off by journaling. So I journal my thoughts, I write down my intentions for the day, I write out some gratitude, and then I do a little yoga morning stretch. Sometimes I just got a trampoline, so a couple days a week I'll jump on the trampoline for a couple minutes just to get some cardio in, and that's my new morning routine. But things change, right? You can play around with what works for you, and everybody is different, and it's just a good way by doing those challenges, it's a good way just to trial it out to see if it's something that you want to incorporate into your morning routine.
I like that, because I feel like what's different with you is I feel like I have to stick with the routine, and if I don't, then I fail at myself. But what you remind me is that it's okay to, it's okay to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself to change things and not give yourself that shame. I feel like that's one of my weaknesses. I give myself too much shame. I punish myself mentally for not calling a client or not doing certain works or tasks that I needed to get done. I'm actually reading a book. I'm sure reading is part of your routine as well. But I'm reading a book called The One Thing by I believe is Keller. He's a real estate brokerage for Keller Williams, but it's not a real estate book. It's more of it's an everything book, and it's rewiring my whole my perspective on how I should be seeing things, how balance, what is really work, what's the most important thing in my life. Am I wasting time by doing tasks that I think are helpful to me, or am I just wasting time? But that's just my whole battles. But for you, I guess what are I know that you read a lot. What's the book on your list right now?
So I just finished reading this book. It's called The Goddess Warrior, and it was so good. It's actually by it was co-authored, or not co-authored, but what's the word? It was forwarded by Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote The Four Agreements, which is one of my favorite books as well.
That's on my list.
And, yeah, it's so good. Highly recommend it. And so The Goddess Warrior is more geared towards women, but I actually recommend men to read it too. Just change the word goddess to, warrior, right? Whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
But it was just about really fully stepping into the highest version of yourself, your true self, and letting go of any stories that you've been telling yourself, letting go of any fears and worries and doubts, and just embracing your true warrior self. And it was such a great book. I really, really loved it.
So I feel like I talk hours about personal development or books in general. It seems like that is it sounds like, at least for me, there are certain things that I'm trying to better myself at, and we're not perfect, as you know, and certain challenges may come our way, but that's what I love about there's always a book for that. There's always someone that's been through it. There's always a coach that can help you in that aspect. How do you feel your transition, I guess? I mean, granted, it's been a year since the pandemic, and it sounds like your whole journey that led you to this point has been a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Really a couple years when I started my holistic journey, but a year when I started the deep healing journey.
And how do you feel from before and now after?
Like I said earlier, it's just, I was reflecting on it the other day, and such a big difference from where I was a year ago. I just feel more confident in who I am, giving myself grace, knowing that I'm not perfect and that's okay, because I struggle with that perfectionism, right? That was a big struggle of mine, is having to be perfect, but it's not realistic, and it feels good to, not feel like I have to be perfect. We're human, we're imperfect, and that's the beautiful part of it. The other thing that I really worked on over the past year or so is speaking my truth, being vulnerable, being okay when not being okay, and feeling what I need to feel. That's having all these emotions and feelings is just part of the human experience. And for a long time, I held all those feelings and emotions in, and that's part of, that's what causes anxiety and depression, and it creates those physical manifestations when you're not expressing your emotions, because that energy is stuck, right? So once you start releasing those emotions, it's just very liberating. And again, we're human. That's part of the human experience. So it's okay to feel. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be sad, angry, mad, happy, whatever it is, right? It's part of being a human. It feels really good to be able to get to that point.
That's beautiful, and it's it's a challenge. I guess in like what I'm ashamed for a little bit is the whole gender aspect. It's like, I guess, for being a man is kind of like bottling your emotions and not really letting like I guess it's that term, like, man up. And I feel like that gets stigmatized too often, especially in our society. And I feel like whoever you're surrounded with, that's not like it's poison around you. And I feel that people need more coaches like yourself to have that whole listening aspect, someone that you could really understand that person and help them become like a better person. And it's like, this within itself is liberating. And that's why I like doing interviews, because it's just me and the person, and I get to find out what they're all about. There's no judgment. It's all about, like, I guess, celebrating like each other in a sense. And that's just something that's really, really rewarding. That
it's a conditioning that we get, right?
Yeah.
From day one, we're conditioned and told that we have to be and act a certain way. So it's nice to know that you don't have to be that way, right?
Yes.
And it's about remembering who you really are before the world told you who you should be, right? And just being that person and feeling confident. And it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Like, for myself, I'm not gonna say I'm healed, but I'm on this healing journey, and it's not a destination. It's a lifelong thing, and every single day, you try your best, you do your best to create that life that you want, and it is truly possible.
Exactly. I 100% agree. It's a good reminder for myself, just to, especially to have someone like yourself to I guess keep you accountable. So that's really great. So your website is up, your business is up and running. I guess what's next on what on your challenges? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah. So next, I'm opening up a couple spots, coaching spots. I'm taking on 4 new clients in the month of April. So that's what's next. And that's what I'm going to focus on, is just working one-on-one with clients and helping them on their journeys.
You work face to face?
No, just like this, virtual.
Oh, no, what do you mean, I guess? Elaborate more on the location spots, I guess.
Yeah, through Google Meet, so just like a video call, just like this. Yeah. So
that's what I love about your business. It doesn't need a lot of overhead. It's just you and the client, like how we are talking right now. So that's good. Yep. So awesome. So you've gone through a lot. through this journey, and you learned a lot, and you've gone through a lot of growing, and that's something that I think we all gone through with this whole pandemic. I mean, we're a year in, we're still growing, and within itself, it's kind of like this whole year was an eye-opener for everyone, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the pandemic, there's a lot of negative outcomes that happen, but I think one of the best things that happened is that we got an opportunity to slow down, to stop what we're doing, slow down, and really take the time to reflect on ourselves, our lives, and figure out, what do we really want? What do we really need, right? So I think that's been a big part, is just having that time, because as you know, we're all busy, right? We're just out there working and producing and not really taking the time to slow down, to reflect and really figure out what we truly want. So yeah, I think this was a great opportunity for people to do that, and I think a lot of people took that opportunity to reflect and start making those shifts within themselves.
Awesome, yes, and that's the key word, opportunity. But yes, I'm sure a lot of people, this speaks a lot of volumes to you guys. If you have any questions, I'll link Avital with Thrive with Avital down below, and her contact information on how to reach her. So if that's something that you guys find valuable, do not hesitate to contact her. Thank you, Avital, so much for joining me on episode 2 of Long Island Locals. My goal is to promote Long Islanders like yourself and others, and their unique experiences and how they provide value with their business. Not just the business itself, but the person behind the business. So thank you.
Thank you, Russell. This was awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, and it's been so awesome talking to you.
I know, and if you didn't catch that, I found I don't know I think I found you first, and it's that whole background, the power of hashtags. It's you get to, like, I'm looking for more health and wellness individuals, and look who I found, someone in my backyard. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome, and then we connect. We haven't met face to face, but this is the beauty of technology, and if it's something that what the pandemic also taught us is we Zoom. I feel like year 2020 is Zoom. But thank you again for joining me, Avital. And like what I said, link down below to follow her and to see and how to contact her. So thank you, Avital, for joining me.
Thanks, Russell.
My pleasure. Well, thank you guys so much for joining today. This is Avital with Thrive with Avital, my guest for episode 2. And this is Russell Santos, the Realtor, signing out. And as always, let me know if there's anything in the world I could do for you.